Want maximum downrange energy without sacrificing practicality? Today we test hand loads for the 7mm PRC built for real hunting performance, not just tiny groups. Welcome back to 3R Ballistics. In this video, we're dialing in the 7mm PRC hand loads, designed specifically for hunters who care more about cold hard on-impact performance than pure bench rest numbers. Because in the field, it's performance that matters, not just a single tight group on paper. And for these hand loads, we'll be using Vihtavuori N565 powder. We'll be going up in half grain increments from 68 grains all the way to 69.5. Checking velocity and SDs, which will affect the terminal energy, trajectory, and even reliability. We'll be shooting these out of the Ruger American Go Wild and 7mm PRC with a 24-inch barrel. We'll be using the Hornady 175 grain ELDX bullet, and we'll be pairing that with Hornady brass. Now, I already know what many of you will say and what you're thinking of Hornady brass, so we'll just skip that part. I only use it for a few hand, reloads, and I love that it's fire formed to my chamber after the first firing, so that's what we're using. Now, it's well known that also seating the bullet a little bit further out on the casing, a few thousandths off the lance, makes for tighter groups. However, for repeatable and reliable loading during a hunt, we'll be sticking to SAMI spec for cartridge overall length. I'll run chrono data with the Garmin and even show the groups that I get. However, let me re-emphasize, I'll be going fast and not looking for the greatest groups. Mostly great SDs and no heavy bolt lift. So stick around to the end for our recommended hunting loadouts and practical tips for safe, repeatable reloads for the 7mm PRC. We are taking our shot at the hand loads with the 175 grain ELDX. I am going to be using we're going to be laddering up starting at 68 grains, 68 and a half, 69. We're going to be recording all the velocities. Hopefully the trigger cam is going to be work for us and we'll get some sight in with that as well. So let's start with our first three groups. Our first group, 175 ELDX N565. Okay, so we are going to go on the right target, bottom. Right target, bottom right, I think. .2864.5. .2883. .2896. 2876. 2903. .68.5 grains with the 175. We'll go bottom left. 2917. Dang it. 2926. 2932. Yeah, 2898. Yeah, those are all over 29, 35. Moving forward, we're doing 69 grains. Some of you might want to see the velocities in real time, so I'm going to go ahead and get velocities in real time. Well, that sucks. Oh, recorded it 2940. 2960, 2951, 2923. We're going to do the session summary. Standard deviation was a little better. Average 2944.5, extreme spread 36.5, standard deviation 12.2. Okay. Moving on to 69.5. This should get us pretty close to 3,000. I think 2985 is what this was supposed to be. 2975. Yeah, a little bit of cratering. Not too bad. Okay. 2981. 2983. 2974. So back from the range, and how did we do? Well, let me explain the theory behind what we're doing. We are trying to find load ratios that are close to 100% for our brass and a burn rate that's close to 100%. Now, surprisingly, the last load of 69.5 grains gives us something close to what we're looking for, and that's with the Hornady brass. For those wondering, yes, I could have added another grain, probably compressed the load a little bit, hot rodded that thing to about 3,025 feet per second or so. I don't know, but I do know that I would have probably had a, heavy bolt lift. And if I'm trying to take a follow-up shot on that trophy elk, I don't want that. So, but where do we go from here? Well, there's two loads that caught my attention. I'll take the data and we'll reload 6 rounds of each of those. We'll take 2 3-shot groups, take our time, checking velocity, SD, and lastly the group. And what we're left with? Well, winner, winner, chicken dinner. We'll have our hunting load for this elk season. So let me know in the comments if you hunters prefer performance over bench rest sub, half MOA accuracy. And until the next one,